So it is the morning after picking up the Tacoma, and I am in it driving this morning. We've got about a 30-minute ride to where we're going, and I do notice that there's a lot of the same feel through this vehicle that I feel through other manufacturers. So I know a lot of the Toyota guys, they praise Toyota as if they've ironed out every problem that would ever be concerned or be a concern to the consumer. But so far, the engine is kind of ticky and rattly. It does feel like it's a little bit underpowered unless you mash into it, and the truck's getting up to 3,500 RPM plus before it really starts to make any kind of power. So there's no like low end grunt to get up and go. I do feel the vibration of the motor and stuff like that through the just sitting and idling at stoplights and stuff. So it's not picture perfect. There's nothing, that I could honestly say Toyota is the best thing since sliced bread. Maybe when it comes to reliability and how they work their warranty and stuff like that and how they take care of the customer, sure, I could see a big plus there because we have a Toyota store. We have managers that have worked at the Toyota store. And they say, customers come in for maintenance. Yeah, they get oil leaks and things like that here and there, but Toyota doesn't fight the warranty department. If something needs, if something needs to be done, they do it. So I can see in Excel from our own Toyota stores that we own, I can see that it's a much easier process to get things taken care of through Toyota for the customer versus other manufacturers. I will agree there, but the quality of the product overall, I can't honestly say from my experience of being in the field as a master tech as long as I have that I see a lot of difference. A lot of plastic inside, a lot of creaks and rattles and stuff like that from time to time. People were telling me how squishy the Tacoma suspension was. I'm not experiencing that at all. It seems very firm. It feels like it's very well planted on the ground. The steering in the Tacoma feels very, very tight. The braking is a little off for me because I'll go to apply the brakes and I know they're there and I'll feel a nice firm pedal, but I really got to get into the brakes sometimes to actually get this thing to stop. It doesn't stop quite as good as I would like for it to. Maybe that's because people have abused this vehicle that have rented it. It seems to be in very good shape overall. I wouldn't think that, 9,000 miles it can be abused that bad to where I feel that when I go to apply the brakes, I'm pressing them and then it takes an excessive amount of effort for me to really get the brakes, almost like somebody put a set of ceramic pads on it and then never broke them in correctly, so it didn't quite ever have that reaction to the driver wanting brakes now. So it's weird. I'll go to start to apply and press them, and I'm like, okay, it's starting to slow down a little bit, but I'm used to like F-150s and 350s, 250s, and Mustangs or something like that, where you go to touch the brake and it's already giving you that sensation of, okay, we're stopping, and then you can gradually get into it. This one, I'll start to press, and then I'll really have to force my foot into it to get some kind of reaction, and then it's almost it's like all of a sudden like kind of knee-jerk type reaction, like, oh, okay, we're stopping. I didn't quite care for that, but again, this is a rental vehicle. The seats, they're comfortable to an extent. If you're on a real long drive, because of how new it is, they're very, very firm. They're not as wide as like the F-150 seats or like the Silverado seats. Almost felt more comfortable sitting in the new Ford Maverick. The new Ford Maverick had way more headroom than this. My manager is 6'8", and he had inches and inches above his head before it topped out. I'm 5'10", and I'm only several inches from the roof of this already. It's not. It has nowhere near the room that the Maverick has. I found that the Maverick seats seem to feel a little bit more comfortable, brand new. Seem to support my back and stuff a little bit better. The power is about the same. There's not very much different in the way I feel the Ford Maverick power versus the Toyota Tacoma power. They're about the same. They both don't move like you would really want them to. And look, here's another choice here. TRD, Tacoma. And overall, I like the truck. I really do. But I don't like how small the bed is. I know it's a small truck. That's a given. I don't like that. The hood. It was really weird. I went to go open the hood, and I was expecting a light Toyota hood. You know, you get a really heavy, seem to be heavy-duty hood on this thing. So if you're a new Tacoma owner and you've never opened the hood on this thing, when you go to open the hood, you're going to know it's there because it's got some weight to it. It's not... The body of the truck overall, the way they build the outside, doesn't seem very chintzy at all. It seems like they actually give you a structurally sound body. I really enjoy the vehicle, for the most part. But I feel like the power, how uncomfortable I am sitting in the truck at times, and it just wouldn't be me. But we're going to drive it 2 more days, and we're going to give it a feel. The main things are the brakes to me. I don't necessarily care for all that much. Getting into the accelerator or pressing the accelerator and expecting there to be power there like I'm used to with the Ford vehicles and stuff I drive, or the Chevy vehicles. I just don't feel that. And it's kind of uncomfortable, to be honest with you. If I had to drive this thing every day and I was a tall person, I don't know that I would quite be okay with being uncomfortable every single day. Let's see. We have a couple more days to drive, but my day 2 reaction of driving it and getting a feel for it, it's okay overall. It's not bad. I can't complain about it to the extent of saying that I'm upset that I'm driving this thing, because that's not the case. It's actually somewhat enjoyable outside of the little quirks that I have a problem with. I like the layout of the dash. I like the buttons, how simple they are. I like the layout of the center flow-through console. It's very easy to see where everything's at. I'm used to cruise control being up here on the steering wheel, but in good old Toyota fashion, it's still back here behind the steering wheel. I guess you got to be a Toyota fan to really appreciate that. I don't necessarily care for that too much. I like it being up here on the steering wheel. It's buttons. Buttons. It's easy to navigate stuff, but at the same time, it's almost a little overwhelming. Nice, easy layout, nice, easy to see where everything is, but it is overwhelming. It's just not something I'm used to. A lot of plastic inside. I like how robust and strong the outside looks and feels, but on the inside, it's very plasticky. That's pretty much all new vehicles now, which is kind of sad. But sporty looking, good looking truck. I'd say I enjoy driving it to an extent, but not my cup of tea, and I definitely probably wouldn't buy one. I got 2 more days of driving it, so we'll go on to day 3 and then possibly day 4 with the family, and we'll all tell you how we like it or we don't like it. Remember, I have a full-size Dodge. She has a GMC Sierra, and I'm a Ford technician that works on, half-ton and above trucks. So we're not used to small stuff like this. So it's a little bit different. See you back again tomorrow. Be blessed.